Bickley and Marana. Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
We all want to believe that the Cardinals are building a sturdy foundation and a winning culture with this new regime, and it's real easy to believe when you have no evidence to the contrary. Well, that changes on Sunday, which is not only the first impression from new quarterback Josh Dobbs, it will be the first impression from the three principal figures on the Cardinals coaching staff: a head coach, an offensive coordinator, and a defensive coordinator who have never done those jobs before. Not when the games actually count, and the NFL is a much different and very dangerous place when the results actually matter. But if the Cardinals play with supreme effort and physicality, it will be a sign that this group has already fully bought into the new program, especially in a week when the Philadelphia media again attacked the integrity and character of Jonathan Gannon. And if the Cardinals can keep this game close, it's going to feel like a victory, even if it ends up in the loss column. And that is a great opportunity for this new regime. It is the gift of low expectations.
Yeah, it's very impressive for anybody to do that. We got some other guys, too, that just got here that are doing a hell of a job, truthfully, to be able to, just get asserted with, into our program and how we want things done, and then the schematics of it, the technique of it. I mean, you can ask Kayvon, that's a good one. Like, he knows, he's like, whoa, this isn't Philly's defense. No, it's not, you know what I mean? Because we're not Philly. We're Arizona, so it's a new year, new players. I'm very pleased with all of them, truthfully, and especially Dobbs with that position because it's so mental. But we had a good feel that he was going to be able to handle that.
Jonathan Gannon on one of the things being juggled in the week prior to the season opener, and that is not just Josh Dobbs being new, but a lot of guys. I mean, they were active on the waiver wire, brought in guys from the outside who had spent entire preseasons with other teams, and they're all in the two deep, especially at the offensive line positions where Calvin Beachum might not be able to go this week. He's the one experienced guy they have as a backup. Do you need your backups? We'll find out.
Yeah.
This is an experience like none other in the history of the Arizona Cardinals.
On so many different levels, because we've never seen this. Most of us have never seen this quarterback perform, and that is just really an absurdity. It's such an oddity to this game that I'm really gonna be curious how we all kind of immerse ourselves, how we all experience this. I'm looking forward really to Monday's show very much because I have no idea what that show is going to sound like. You look at the Commanders, and they're a team that's been in transition. As Sarah pointed out, it's kind of ironic that the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator from that Super Bowl that has garnered so much attention are back at it again this weekend.
Yeah.
That's really kind of a weird thing about this.
I'm not sure that's ever happened before. I don't know if there's that'd be a heck of a research project.
Right.
But the guy at the controls of the Washington offense is Eric Bieniemy. He, finally broke away from Andy Reid in Kansas City, not for a head coaching job, but for a coordinator job. And he talked about it this week, preparing for Jonathan Gannon again after playing him in the Super Bowl.
Just trying to figure out and basically get a feel for what Jonathan has done in the preseason. And then also, too, you also want to take a look at what they did last year in Philly, but you don't want to lose sight of all the other places that he's been. I know he came from a background where they played, in a different scheme when he was in Indy. Also, too, he came out of Minnesota with, what's my man's name? With Coach Zim. And so there's a background there. So you just want to make sure that you're getting a look at everything just in case something shows up that you wasn't quite ready for. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're providing all our guys all the necessary info that can potentially take place this weekend.
Now you have to ask yourself, what does Eric Bieniemy think of this matchup? What does he think about the fact that Jonathan Gannon got the head coaching job and he still hasn't gotten the opportunity? He is the multiple Super Bowl winner, including the reigning Super Bowl, whereas Jonathan Gannon isn't. Is there fuel for him around that? Probably not, because I think it's very new for him in his surroundings as well. But you look at this game with the Commanders, and I'm curious to see what this Sam Howell kid looks like. They're very, very excited about him. But again, he's got about as much experience as anybody else, or lack thereof. And so I think there's a real opportunity here for the Cardinals to play this game close, maybe even to win this game. And, man, that would be such a boost of credibility, especially in a season where I looked yesterday. You look at power rankings, Cardinals are parked at 32.
Yeah,
and there's like everywhere, from top to bottom, from left to right, top to bottom, 32.
And many of those outlets that put together those power rankings are not expecting to have to move the Cardinals at all this
Exactly.
year. Yeah.
Exactly.
And many of those power outlets also know that Houston and Indianapolis have teams.
Power outlets are what?
And yet still,
power outlets are what's behind me, where that fan is plugged into, Jarrett.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
By the way, your point on the inexperience of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Howell versus Dobbs, when that game starts on Sunday, they will have combined to throw a total of 104 NFL regular season passes.
That is incredible. So on the corollary is, if the Cardinals go out and just fumble around and get pasted 28-zip at halftime to that team, then it's going to confirm, oh yeah, they are really bad, and then everything is going to change, and then it's going to be they really want to avoid that. So there's 3 possible outcomes here, and 2 of them are pretty good for the Cardinals, but getting blown out is no bueno.
No, and look, there's mystery on both sides of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, we don't know what this is going to look like with a new quarterback, with all these new pieces. A couple new starters on the offensive line. What does Zach Ertz look like if he's able to go? I know this has been the goal to get back for week 1. He's been cleared, hasn't practiced fully just yet. We'll see what that looks like. But Budda Baker talked about what he sees differently in this year's Cards offense, just going up against them in practice every day.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so, from a kind of a spread offense to more NFL style defense, run the ball, pass, drop back, play action. I would say it's a little more different. QB is a little more under the center more compared to last year's, kind of more just gun. So, I would say that it's different.
So not really any insight there that we didn't know about, but I'm curious to see what it all looks like.
Buddha sounds like he's got tempered expectations. I don't mean to read into sound bites. You know what I mean? I think he's, but again, here's the other thing that I think is interesting about this. For all the complaining that Eagles fans do about Jonathan Gannon, one of the things that is considered one of his strengths is that he's very good and values confusing young quarterbacks, meaning give them different looks, fake looks, false fronts, all that kind of stuff. So the quarterback you're playing does not have a good pre-snap read. So there's a real element of having to figure it out a little more than otherwise. And I think against a quarterback like Sam Howell, that would be a good thing for this defense. As much confusion as they can throw his way, the better. So that's one of the positive things that I've read about Jonathan Gannon. That's kind of his thing, is to create confusion for quarterbacks at the line of scrimmage and then settle into your defense. Don't tip your hand before it's absolutely necessary. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.